My name is Jonathan Blackwood. Welcome to my Tech Decisions podcast. Today's guest is Alen Paul Silverrstieen, CEO and President of Imagination Park. Imagination Park is a company that provides augmented reality services for commercial environments. First, Alen and I discuss the current applications of augmented reality, specifically in live sporting events, as well as retail environments. We go on to discuss the potential of augmented reality for digital signage applications anywhere, at the corporate level, for advertising and marketing, and potential e-commerce, in education environments, for student outreach, recruitment, and visitation. We also talk about the potential for data and analytics when consumers are interacting with augmented reality digital signage applications. Anybody interested in learning about the future of augmented reality and how that could play into AV technology in commercial environments should absolutely give this very interesting interview a listen. Enjoy. Before we get to the interview, a quick reminder that My Tech Decisions podcast is now available on iTunes and the Google Play Store. Make sure to subscribe in order to instantly download the latest interviews with expert AV integrators, IT providers, security installers, technology manufacturers, and commercial technology decision makers like yourself. If you like what you hear, you can leave a comment and rate the podcast as well. Search for My Tech Decisions podcast on iTunes and the Google Play Store. Download and subscribe. Now let's get to the interview. Welcome to My Tech Decisions podcast. Today's guest is Alen Paul Silverrstieen, CEO and President of Imagination Park. Alen, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, I appreciate you reaching out to us, so thank you very much for having us on your show today.
It's great to have you on our show, and in over 50 episodes, we haven't had anyone on that is working in augmented reality, and that is what Imagination Park does. Now, I invited Alen on to talk about kind of what augmented reality is doing right now, what his company is doing right now, what might happen in the future. And I know a lot of our audience right now has only experienced augmented reality maybe in gaming or through their mobile devices, things like that. But there's some really interesting things happening. So, Alen, just to start, could you give us an idea of what your company is, what Imagination Park does?
Absolutely. So Imagination Park Technologies is a small public company. It's actually a microcap company listed both on the Canadian Exchange, the CSE, as well as over the counter here in the United States as well. And we provide an augmented reality mobile platform that allows any company to implement an AR activation, augmented reality activation, off of digital signage, markers, anything really that's around in the real world. But I think we want to step back a second and kind of understand what augmented reality is, because I think it's new to a lot of people. Most people's first exposure or understanding of augmented reality was back in 2016 in the summer when Pokemon Go came out. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, I remember.
So that was the first time ever. It was like the keystone event in the world of AR as well as mobile, where everyone was running around trying to catch the Pokemon characters using the phone around the real world. Now we're 3 years later, and AR has exploded and has grown tremendously. AR is used in many different applications, and it's utilizing the phone, where someone takes the phone, they download an app onto the phone, and we have our app called Xeno Play, which is tied to our platform. And when you point the phone with the app running, it has the ability to activate. And in this case, separate from what was previous, just doing images and cartoons, now AR can be including lots of things, such as videos, YouTube videos, green screen videos, holograms, coupon. There's tremendous amount of applications for leveraging AR on a phone. Facebook, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Snapchat, they are investing hundreds of millions of dollars annually into augmented reality. And it is expected to be the part of everyday life. As everyone remembers the movie back in the day with Tom Cruise and Minority Report walking around, ultimately that is where the future is going to go, where it's going to start on mobile and people activate and experience AR. And then ultimately it's going to go to wearable lenses like glasses. And as you walk around, you'll be able to see these kind of activations, the visual graphics and the videos right on your wearable lenses.
And I think what people aren't even aware of is that, as you mentioned, AR is being utilized today in a lot of really interesting ways. And one of the main ways that maybe people have seen or have heard renderings of or whispers about is in professional sports. And that's an arena where Imagination Park has already experienced utilizing AR in that arena. Could you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So AR is something that is an engagement. It's a consumer engagement, the ability to activate, capture the data, and understand who the people are and monitor those campaigns. In the world of sports, we started right off in activating and working with two small IFL teams to begin with, the Tucson Sugar Skulls in Arizona, as well as the Arizona Rattlers. And they're going to use AR as a way to activate and excite their fans at the game. They're going to do something similar to the Pokemon Go experience. We actually provide that. It's called AR Stories or a scavenger hunt, where they can set up items around the entire stadium, whether it's digital sign, whether it's certain pictures or images that fans can scan. They'll be able to collect digital collectible cards, win prizes, enter into sweepstakes as well. So it becomes a very interactive, engaging opportunity, sort of like gamification within the stadium and the arena, separate from the time when the game is going on. And this industry, in terms of AR, is going to explode. Goldman Sachs actually estimated that the industry should hit approximately 100 billion plus in the next 5 years. So everyone who's listening to this podcast will have some experience with AR on their phones, definitely in the near future. It'll be part of your everyday life.
And I think that people understand how it can work in the professional sports arenas, but they might not. Our audience is a lot in corporate, it's a lot in education, healthcare, government. It's in those really commercial environments, and they might not see the application from professional sports to their environment. But I think what's a little bit closer to these environments is retail environments, which you guys have also a lot of experience in. Could you tell us more about the retail aspect of augmented reality?
Sure. We brought an AR experience actually to the Mall of America this past Christmas, where shoppers came in and were able to scan the statues they had around the mall for controlling traffic flow. So people were able to go around the mall, point their phones at, for example, a 10-foot nutcracker or a 3-foot rocket ship, and actually see an AR engaging experience over it, an overlay per se of graphics, images. It could be a cartoon. And they had the ability also to enter in a sweepstakes to win a gift card. So it's something that in retail engages consumers in the brick and mortar, but it's growing in many different areas, you said. In the world of education, I can point my phone at a book and bring it to life. AR is like a new digital communications channel, sort of like the websites were decades ago, where it's a way to communicate with consumers, with students, with people around the world through their phone. Everybody walks around with their phone. So if I had, for example, a textbook, I could point my phone at the textbook and see it come alive on my phone. So if it was a picture or something of a dinosaur, a video could play right off of that. If it's healthcare, I could have medical training books. So I could point at a specific image that's sitting on my book. It'll actually show me a video of how to do that certain procedure or give me graphics, something to interact with. So it brings everything to life. It's engaging and allows that person to experience a new way through the phone of getting that educational information, consuming that content. And what's most important as well from business companies and everyone who does this is that they're capturing that data. They're capturing the email of that person. They're capturing when they did things, when they activated things, how long they activated it. And this information is important because you're starting to see the use and the analytics tied to each kind of campaign or how it's used in the education and healthcare experience. And I just mentioned healthcare. So for healthcare, say I had packaging for a drug, I can point the phone with the app loaded at that, and it can have a doctor give me instructions or recommendations how to use that drug, how best to take it, and what the expected results are. So it's a new way to interface with people. The way our platform works, you can create AR experiences in minutes, and you don't need a programmer. It's the only one that we're aware of anywhere in the world that does that. So even if you're a business person, you can provide your own AR activations right off of digital signage, off of books, off of signs, off of the pictures on the side of a building. And that content you're delivering, you control. You can change that content every hour, every day, every week, every month, whenever you want, without the need for a technical resource or a programmer.
Well, I'm glad you brought up data and digital signage as well, and we'll get to digital signage in a moment. But data is quickly becoming king in corporate environments. It's people are making business decisions about it. People are making decisions about what products to release, when to release products. I mean, there's so much information out there that can be so beneficial to organizations. And I'm glad that you mentioned that with augmented reality, someone might walk by a digital signage and advertisements on it, take a look at it, be interested, and you never find that out. Augmented reality, they're interacting with it. So not only are they learning more about the product, but you're learning more about the consumer. Now, with Imagination Park, are there mechanisms, or would it be a third-party company that an organization would need to utilize in order to gather and make actionable insights of that data? Like, what's the next step after collecting that data for a company?
That's a very good question. And the key is that AR is a perfect tool to be with digital signage. Absolutely perfect. And we've already started to work with digital signage companies. One in particular, Data Call Technologies, is a content company where they're live activating their signage as well. So when people walk by the signs, they'll get notification on the app that there's something there to engage, allow them to point the phone at it, and you'll be able to measure who engaged with the sign, who they were in terms of their email, when they engaged, how long did they engage, were they a single user, were they a repeat user. If you provided a coupon as part of the engagement, did that coupon get used? These are the key analytics that really brings digital signage to life. The digital signage industry should be engaging AR immediately. It's a way to provide a direct ROI to their clients, a measurable result, and actionable data, as you said. If I have certain signs that I'm starting to see a high activation in AR versus others, I should be able to charge more for those locations. As you mentioned, just now putting up signage and having people walk back and forth around it, you're not able to really understand who looked at it, like a billboard, right? They walk by, but I don't know who saw it. With AR, I can actually measure the exact actionable items, when they activate it, the timing of the activation, how long they activated. And built into our platform, which again is built for business users. You don't need a programmer. You literally can call us up today and create AR campaigns within minutes and be active and up and running. And in this case, every time there's an AR activation on our platform, we actually built in something called the reward card. Again, targeting the retail industry, the engagement industry, and again, perfect for digital signage. So if I have a digital sign that's promoting a certain sponsor, when someone points that phone for that engagement, it could be a digital collectible, they could see a cartoon, or they could see an actual YouTube video. We provide the ability for that business to reward that consumer for the engagement. That reward could be a coupon to be brought back to a retail store for a discount on food. It could be some other promotional item. So it also provides that kind of gamification enjoyment to the consumer, that they receive a reward for the engagement off the signage. And this is the future where digital signage is going to go, where they can provide unique content, at the same time provide a unique AR engagement off the sign, and keep changing that content as they see fit going forward. And obviously it becomes a new revenue stream for digital signage companies and a way to engage sponsors in a new way directly into the hands of the consumer.
And a lot of organizations, really enterprise organizations and then education organizations, utilize digital signage not only sort of as a consumer aid, but as a, let's say, employee aid or student aid for the education realm. So do you think AR has an application of not only for consumer engagement and added revenue streams, but for employee engagement and teaching employees and students about new initiatives by the company, or new classes available on the campus, or maybe for the campus, like sports events that are coming up, or speakers that are coming? I mean, there seems to be almost endless opportunity here.
Absolutely. You're right. It is endless. It doesn't end. We're actually talking to universities as well who approach us. Here's a unique approach where people come in for campus tours at the university. So they walk around with a tour guide, but what about the people who just get a piece of paper from the site and then walk around the campus themselves? I could set up a digital AR experience. So as students are walking around certain buildings, they'll get a notification pointed at the building sign, or a sign near the building, and immediately they'll hear the chairman of the department, or they'll hear from alumni students in YouTube videos, so they can actually get engaged their own tour through AR. It's pretty exciting stuff. And this is what some of the campers are looking to do, to use as a tour. Another way is fundraising. You point the phone at digital signage, at certain communication tools, or printed material, or even at a website. AR works off of websites, digital information on a screen as well, besides digital signage, and you could deliver a fundraising message. For example, if they're doing a certain campaign, they can have the phone automatically, when pointed, plays a video, and at the end, it's a donate now button, so they can donate it. But as you touched on also, education is going to be transformed with AR. Virtual reality, which is different than AR, and a lot of people I think are beginning to understand. Virtual reality is like the gaming where you put on a headset, but you can't walk around. AR is a very social experience. It's using your phone, you engage with the world, you can see everything. So for education, I can point to the book or a digital sign and get messages delivered to me right from the president of the company, or educational certain procedures or certain updates. Again, that content resides in a cloud, and we have a full cloud content management system that is all menu driven. So that content can be changed anytime by the digital sign provider, for example, or the customer, purely by using menus. They don't need a programmer. So they can maintain the activity of it, keep it up to date, and change it as you need, whether it's certain campaigns, messaging, or corporate communications as well, all through the phone. And as people are engaging with the AR, as I mentioned previously, we provide that trophy card reward. So it's something to reward people for engaging the message or listening to it. So if it's a corporate message, they actually can get delivered that message printed on a little image, which comes down to their phone as well. So there's a lot of different uses for AR. It's limitless. And as we keep talking to new prospective opportunities, everyone comes up with something new, a new application, an interesting one, whether it be in consumer brands, retail, education, fundraising. There's many different avenues for it. And it depends really what you want to accomplish with your communication. If it's digital signage within a specific organization, whether it's healthcare, education, what's the message you want to communicate on the sign? But let's take it the next level. Again, AR is a digital communication channel like your website. Communicate that onto the phone. And by the way, you'll be able to measure and know who did engage with it, who they were, when they did it, and how effective your messages are being reached by the organization.
You mentioned that donate button. Would it also be possible to include e-commerce in that, so that if someone's walking by an advertisement, say, they could be prompted to order the product directly online right there on the spot?
Absolutely. That's another feature. I'm glad you brought it up. I originally started on the education side, but yes, it could drive e-commerce transactions by, again, have engaged off the sign. It could play a little commercial. It could say there's a coupon now, and then there's a little button for click here to buy, goes to a web page to conduct the transaction. So AR is going to be transformative. It's going to be the next level engagement. Matter of fact, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, I think within a year ago, basically was stated publicly that AR is going to be part of your everyday life. And that truly is what we believe is, as you walk around, you'll have the ability, utilizing your phone to start. Ultimately, it will transfer to wearable lenses in the next 3 to 4 years, but using your phone, you'll get messages, which will be e-commerce opportunities, coupons to buy things. And again, these coupons can have a certain life. Built into our platform, we allow you to have a coupon that has a certain expiration time and day. So you can drive traffic to do an e-commerce transaction as well. So it's sort of like taking the programs, the sponsor, the discounts and everything else into the hands of people out there, and getting direct results and measurable results. So you can see how effective the campaigns are. So it's taking, where we started with websites, then we went to social media. The next one, digital communication, ultimately will be augmented reality.
Well, I mean, extremely interesting stuff. And thank you so much for providing these real examples of how this is working now and is going to work. We're right up against our time limit, but before we go, if people want to learn more about Imagination Park or more about augmented reality through your company, how can they get in touch?
Well, it's very easy. You can go to our website, imaginationpark.com, and we have a lot of examples about our augmented reality, and certainly reach out to us if you're interested in integrating AR with your digital signage program or education, with books, with anything. It really is limitless. Additionally, we have a Twitter feed at IPTech, IPTECHAR, which we put a lot of our announcements, new products, features, new clients, and use cases. And additionally, as I mentioned previously, we're actually a microcap public company. We're probably one of the only or few pure play augmented reality companies that are out there. We feel our stock currently is undervalued, and we're very optimistic about AR in the future. And if it's something that you feel is also strong, it's an opportunity to do to get involved with the company Imagination Park and grow with us as the augmented reality world grows around the world.
Well, I encourage everyone in our audience to check it out, learn more about it, because as Alen mentioned, this is something that's only going to continue to grow in all facets of life. Alen, Paul Silverrstieen, CEO and President of Imagination Park, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely, and thank you for having us on, and I appreciate it and look forward to working with digital signage people with AR in the near future.
Thank you for listening to My Tech Decisions podcast. Here at Tech Decisions, it's our mission to help you do your job better. If you'd like to learn more, head over to www.mytechdecisions.com or follow us on Twitter @MyTechDecisions. I'm your host, Jonathan Blackwood, managing editor of Tech Decisions, and you can find me at Blackwood Tweets. Thank you again for listening, and good luck with all of your installations and implementations.